Well, last night I was, for a brief moment, a Philadelphia sports fan, and it was a shockingly similar experience to rooting for Arizona sports. We're talking about an MLB postseason and so much more, including if reuniting with one Paul Goldschmidt is in the future for the Arizona Diamondbacks. We're doing it in 30 seconds. Don't you go anywhere. Happy Friday to you all. Here we are. It's the PHNX Dbacks podcast live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. It is your mayor of PHNX, occasionally known as Derek Montilla. Let it play just a little longer and a little louder today.
Happy
Damon.
Friday, Derek.
It's Friday, baby.
Woo!
Happy Friday to you all. Great to have you guys here. And of course, that is the one, the only dog behind the Mac. It is Damon Dog over there on the ones and twos. Thrilled to have you guys here today for my last mornings with the mayor around PHNX. I've been doing 2 shows all week long with our guy Espo out on vacation. I've been handling the duties over at Southwest Bias, and I am tired. I'm ready for a vacation of my own, and I'm super excited to go to Bisbee, Arizona this weekend. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to check out the oldest ballpark in America. And my daughter wanted to do spooky things, so she's going to get spooky thing upon spooky thing. I'm taking her to a ballpark with probably the ghosts of baseball players, as me and Shane addressed earlier. I'm taking her down into a mine on a mine tour that we're going to have to wear helmets and lights on it. And then also we're going to have a seance at like some sort of psychic's house, and then we're gonna stay at a haunted hotel that's haunted by a cat. So let me tell you, I'm trying to hit up every genre of horror for her while we're down there to really enforce this whole thing.
What was that word again?
Horror?
Let's emphasize that second syllable.
I'm just going to go ahead and move on from that. It was a house of horrors for the Philadelphia teams last night. Let me tell you, our friends at PHLY did not have a good evening. By the way, I didn't tell you, this show is brought to you by our friends at Bet365 and Game Time. Make sure to download that Bet365 app. Use our code of PHNX365 when you sign up. Get yourself some bonus bets by following a few easy steps. And over at Game Time, use our code of PHNX. You'll get $20 off your first already low ticket purchase. Shout out to Professor. Probably didn't show up for this. He has a Cardinals hat on, but he could be here. Thank you for becoming a member. Again, if you are not already part of our supporters club, we implore you to do so. We have some cool emojis. Someone asked yesterday why they took the cactus light emoji out from our supporters club or supporters. It's because we can't win anymore. Apparently, we can't win, and that goes double apparently for our Arizona Fall League team, which we're going to talk about later. But first, I did allude to that house of horrors that we have going on here for the Philadelphia Phillies and all the Philly PHLY teams. They had a mega watch-along last night where they watched all 3 of their teams get beat. I felt like I was maybe culpable. It was pretty sad. All three.
That sounds like us.
I know. It was a big
That's
watch
so
along.
us.
It was the Phillies in the playoffs, the Eagles facing off against the Giants, and Cam Scattaboo ran all over them last night. And then you also had, of course, the Flyers losing. And it was a lot of sadness. I don't know if they'll ever do another mega watch-along over there at PHLY or if the fans will ever let them do that. But like I said, I was culpable in their sadness because I was wearing a PHLY hoodie in unison with my quarterback on my fantasy football team and my defense on my fantasy football team. Also, did want to see the Phillies last a little bit longer, maybe take out the Dodgers, but that did not happen. And not only did it not happen for the Phillies, but they lost in the worst way imaginable. I mean, the Phillies lose last night in extra innings, 11 innings, by a score of 2-1 by the Dodgers. And they get sent home when reliever Orion Kirkering mishandled a ground ball and made an errant throw to home plate when he could have gone to first base or could have gone anywhere else, allowing the Dodgers to score the winning run in the 11th inning. And Damon, I can't tell you how painful this was to watch for me. I mean, this isn't our team. This isn't even a team I care about even slightly. But man, was it heartbreaking to see a pitcher blow it like that in that way with an error and have that be the reason why their team is has not only lost the game, but has been sent home from the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to see that, and especially in a city like Philadelphia. And not to like rag on our friends at PHLY, but we all know that Philly is such a passionate sports culture. But as part of that leads to having absolutely insane people as part of your fan base.
Oh, I'm sure their reaction to this is totally rational.
Yeah, I can't help but feel bad just for Kirkering in the way that I'm sure the death threats, the family threats, everything is out of control. And it sucks so bad because I'm sure that he can hardly even like sleep at night with how that went down. You see JT Realmuto pointing at first base going, throw it to first.
Throw it there like you know to do.
Yeah, and he just clearly freaked out and let his emotions get the best of him. And
it's a big moment. It's hard. I mean, that's a lot on a young pitcher. That's a lot of pressure in that particular scenario to perform and to make that play and for it to go that way. I mean, it was a ball that should have been an out, and it ends up being the winning run. And
I want to talk about that walked in run, Derek. Missed call. I mean,
the missed strike in the 7th inning.
How much help do the Dodgers need? How much help does Shohei Ohtani need?
Yeah.
That's what I'm sitting here wondering.
I mean, I'm going to talk about Arizona Fall League more, but I can't tell you, Damon, how much seeing the ABS system in practice, in person, by guys that have used it now for a substantial amount of time. A lot of these young guys have been using the ABS system for multiple seasons now. They are very well aware of it, and it just makes the game better. It made the game yesterday so much better. There were some crucial calls that were missed, and again, it's meaningless, if you want to call it that, regular season Arizona Fall League game, but it just reminded me how much we need this later that night. Like I was watching it around 3-4 in the afternoon, and then I go and watch this game and see that exact pitch you're talking about. And I can't help but think how much I want this, how much I want to review, because at the end of the day, we just want calls to be right. And that's how I felt in this moment. Like, yes, I was pulling for the Phillies, but I don't care about the Phillies. As Damon will tell you, I'm a secret Dodgers fan, right? So, of course, even though I said I was rooting for the Phillies, I was secretly rooting for the Dodgers.
Of course.
The point being is I hated that moment. I hated that being the run that tied it. I hated after the amazing pitching performances by Christopher Sanchez and Tyler Glasnow that it came down to that, and again, that call was so big in the moment, and it was so big, proved to be so big as the game goes on to extra innings. So this is just huge, and it's another reason why I am so thankful that the ABS challenge system is coming to Major League Baseball. It's going to improve baseball, and not only that, but it's exciting. Like, it's fun. It was exciting at the Arizona Fall League game. The eruption, again, from the dugout and the dozens, that's probably a lot, maybe the tens of fans that were there, was amazing. And again, I can't wait to see and hear that reaction during a postseason game in a moment this big, where it would have been that critical in that moment for that run not to score. And you're absolutely right. Philly, the emotional toll here on Philadelphia fans and the players, right?
Oh,
like, this
my God, Derek.
We don't care. We're glad you're happy.
Those poor people.
We're glad you're sad. We're happy you're sad.
Those poor people and their $400 million payroll and their Super Bowl team in the last 2 of the last 3 years that they've gone to the Super Bowl, and man, it must be so devastating being a Philly sports fan.
It's rough.
I feel so bad for them.
Yeah.
By the way, Derek, we can't let them escape this. Did you see the start of the game from a fan standpoint at Dodger Stadium? Did you see this? The crowd shots.
I did see the crowd shots, Damon.
I mean, we're talking 60% full for a potential elimination game in the divisional series in the first pitch. And you're looking up in the upper sections. I mean, as much as Dbacks fans struggle potentially, filling up Chase Field on a game-by-game basis, whenever it's postseason time,
they show up.
Our fans show up and show out. And you see the upper deck at Chase Field, that thing will be sold out, basically person to person. And in the Dodger Stadium, like, I'm sure they'll announce a sellout. Oh, wow, yeah, we sold 50,000 seats tonight. But there was about 35,000 people that were actually there.
Traffic is different in LA. Though.
Traffic
isn't the way traffic is here. You can't just be like, oh, it's going to take me extra long. I need to leave 30 minutes early. No, Damon. Their traffic is a fight for your life. And sometimes you lose that fight. And I have friends that live in LA that actively tell me. You prepare for the
traffic. I mean, you know what you're getting into. If you're going to the playoff game,
you never know how bad it is. And parking at Dodger Stadium is the dumbest thing that I've ever experienced in my entire life. It really is.
Why you Uber?
That's true.
You Waymo.
And do that to the Hollywood Bowl too if you go there. But I also hate the fact that the Dodgers get to advance, and now we get to see who they match up with as the Cubs live to fight another day. They beat the Brewers by a score of 6-0 and now force a Game 5 in Milwaukee. We did adopt the Cubs a little bit here as the NL team.
There's Derek just defending Dodgers fans. I get it, man. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, Derek.
Shout out to Big Blue Brush, who I not recognize, but seems to definitely know the bit for sure. Thank you so much for being here in time for that. But Cubs, our friends over at CHGO Cubs, they posted a video of them dancing to the Go Cubs Go song. It made me instantly regret backing that team. It made me instantly regret supporting them in any way, shape, or form.
But we're supporting them over the evil empire that is the Milwaukee
Correct.
Brewers.
That is absolutely the case. And then we'll support them if they can advance and take on the Dodgers. They will be underdogs there, but we will obviously be there to support them.
And if it's the Brewers, then I'm a Brewer, and I was born to be a Brewer. I mean, it doesn't matter at this point.
My son's name would be Bernie if I had one.
It doesn't matter at this point. Whoever's playing the boys in blue, that's what team I'm a fan of. Yeah. And I have been since the day I was born.
You're not wrong.
Fact.
Ian Happ, big 3-run home run in the first inning. The Cubs, 4 consecutive first inning home runs in this series, setting a postseason record. So they have been early risers in this series against the Brewers. And it's kind of ironic that is the case, considering that the Cubs got beat up in innings 1 and 2 of that first Game 1 loss to the Brewers. And now here they are, the team they are the team jumping all over Milwaukee. Kyle Tucker, King Tucker, is back. Added a 414-foot solo home run in the 7th inning. Made it 5-0 at the end. Contributed to the Cubs' offensive surge, which they had in this game. And Matthew Boyd was excellent. 4 2/3 innings, scoreless. He allowed 2 hits, struck out 6 batters, and earned the win there. So. The Cubs really showcased early dominance in this one with that 3-run first inning. And then from there, their relievers, David Palencia, Brad Keller, and Caleb Thielbar, combined to preserve the shutout there, maintaining the win. And so great stuff for the Cubs. Momentum seems to be on their side. But now this game shifts back to Milwaukee. And it's now a win or go home game for both teams. So that's exciting. And then we also have a win or go home game for our Sea Snakes. Game 5 of the 2025 American League Division Series comes down to this today at 5:08 p.m. at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. This decisive matchup will determine which team goes on to face the Toronto Blue Jays in the ALCS. We have Arizona Kingman, Arizona's own Tarek Skubal, going up against George Kirby in this one. And of course, Skubal, a two-time Cy Young Award contender, has been a dominant force for the Tigers, except when playing the Seattle Mariners. The Seattle Mariners are the only team to have defeated Skubal in 3 starts this year, including the Game 2 victory that felt like it was going to be a wrap for Shane, because Shane was like, man, we can't beat Skubal. We're already down 1-0. And that was all at home.
Shane quit like you quit on the Dbacks 2026 season already.
Correct. Shane is a wreck. Speaking of which, Shane is an absolute wreck. Meanwhile, Noah, who is about to torch me in fantasy football, is once again unshaken. And I can't help but want to even side more with the Mariners over this. I need Noah to be happy. So let's see what happens today at 5:08 p.m. That game is on Fox. And this marks the Mariners' first winner-take-all postseason game since the 2001 ALDS. For the Tigers, it's a repeat of last year with Skubal pitching on the road for a chance to advance to the ALCS. So, again, the winner of this team goes on to face the Blue Jays. And then in the NL, we have the winner of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Cubs going on to face off against the Dodgers. And like I said, Shane's an absolute wreck. I don't know how I feel. I think much like Damon, it might all be a facade. I might be trying my best to jump on the coattails, the bandwagon, if you would, of another team like the Mariners. But deep down in my heart, I'm just.
You'll always be a Dodger.
I'm just still a Diamondbacks man. You son of a bitch. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, but I'll tell you who is always going to be a Diamondback to most people. That is one Paul Goldschmidt. And
what do you mean most people, Derek?
Oh no. We're gonna do this. Let's have this fight on the other side of the break, shall we? We'll have this argument on the other side of this break. We're gonna talk about maybe having Goldie come home so you can be here when that statue is built. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, for more than 15 years, Access Insurance Agency of Arizona has provided affordable and reliable car insurance to drivers in the Phoenix metro area. As a dedicated part of the local community, Access Auto helps Arizona get insured by offering flexible coverage options and accepting various forms of ID, driving history, and license types. They also accept various forms of payment as well. By partnering together with over 20 insurance carriers, they make it easy for you to compare rates and find the best policy for your budget. With bilingual Spanish-speaking agents available at 9 convenient locations across the valley, Access agents are ready to assist customers in finding the right coverage for their budgets and identifying available discounts. Both cash and card payments are accepted for added convenience. Access Auto, trusted by the community, rooted in Phoenix, and ready to help. All statements are subject to terms, exclusions, and conditions of the applicable policy. In all instances, the current policy contract language prevails. Coverage is subject to individual policyholders meeting underwriting qualifications and state availability. Other terms and conditions and exclusions do apply. Well, whatever the moment is, never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365 does have 90 million users worldwide, and I am guilty of being one of them for sure. And that's because Bet365 makes it easier than ever for you to win with their early payout offers on MLB and on the NFL season, which, as you may have experienced betting on the Cardinals this past Sunday, you were a winner despite the fact the team wasn't. That's because the early payout offer over there for college football as well as NFL means that you're a winner if your team goes up by 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections, which will be marked as winners regardless of the outcome of the game. So get down on this. You can also get down on an early payout offer for Major League Baseball with the Bet365 early payout offer on baseball. You're a winner if your team goes up by 5 runs with an instant payout offer on straight bets and parlay selections, which will be marked as winners. Use that for the Dodgers because their offense is good, but their bullpen still questionable. So download the app and use that code of PHNX365 when you sign up today. They have all sorts of fun offers for football this season, including their Thursday night touchdown offer. They also have, of course, their same game parlay offers on Sundays, so do not miss out on all the fun you can have over there at Bet365. New customers right now can get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. All you got to do is sign up, use that code of PHNX365, deposit $10, and place a bet of $5 to receive $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, players, props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or over and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov. All right, well, here we go. Of course, the Yankees, who made their exit this week, are going to probably make some changes. As they do, they have the payroll to do so. And yesterday we discussed perhaps poaching away Valley native Hamilton High School's own Cody Bellinger, but he might be a little expensive. That's probably the case. And considering what Spot Track has listed as potential contract for him, there is a good chance that the Diamondbacks wouldn't be able to afford him. So we turn to a far more affordable option from the New York Yankees, one that we know much, much better, and former Arizona Diamondback first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. In his final media availability of the year for the Yankees, Jon Heyman, MLB reporter, asked him about retirement, and Goldschmidt shut that down quickly by responding, "I love playing." He went on to say, a man of simple words, "I think I'd like to continue playing." So it sounds like Goldie will be back for the 2026 season. And who knows what happens with baseball beyond that, quite frankly. So I could definitely see a world in which Paul Goldschmidt might feel a similar way as I do, and a lot of people in baseball do, which is that 2027 season might not even happen. Should that be the case, then really 2026 might be the last opportunity for a 38-year-old Paul Goldschmidt to have one last year of playing baseball. Would bringing him back make sense to the Dbacks right now? Well, the big thing here would need to be Paul Goldschmidt returning to perform and to provide something to this team, not just come here as a retirement tour to tip his cap, right? And the other question here is, how does he fit into this current roster? How would he fit in potential DH role for this team? How would he fit in a potential first base role for this team? And what would, the clubhouse feel? How would the clubhouse feel about him? I know a lot of these guys are well aware of the history of this franchise, and I do think that Paul Goldschmidt is a respected player around the league, so I don't see any problems there or with the way that he fits in. Also, Goldie is a leader, but he tends to lead by example and not necessarily be a vocal guy. My favorite quote in my time covering Paul Goldschmidt was when he would look at someone like me, like Jack Summers, like Jesse Friedman, who would ask a complicated question, maybe not me so much, and basically almost shrug off the idea of us talking about analytics and stats and past performances, and would simply answer the question with, "I just tried to hit the ball hard." And he was a guy that never really liked to hear his stats. He was never a guy that liked to know how good or bad he was doing. He was, once again, like Paul Bunyan, but in a mortal, smaller man form, right? And so financially, it feels like Paul Goldschmidt would be a much better fit for the Diamondbacks than, Cody Bellinger, who we talked about yesterday. I feel like Goldie would be a short-term, realistic addition to this team. The Diamondbacks really do not have much money to spend, and they have a lot of things to fix between now and opening day on 2026, which is the reason why I remain skeptical, Damon, and not just me being pessimistic. But when you look at how much the Diamondbacks have to spend, you have to take into consideration what they spent this year, what's coming off the books, how their payroll that they have with current guys who are going through arbitration and they have contract stipulations where they receive a raise impact the current payroll, as well as, again, as they will say, the other minor leaguers and other things that they have to pay for, right? Overall, the Diamondbacks would seem, and this is based on the conversation I was having with my guy, Jack Summers from over there at Snakes Territory, is that the Diamondbacks have somewhere in the neighborhood of $25 to $35 million to spend this offseason, and pitching is going to be a priority for them. So as far as who they can seek out and who they can add to this team, this is a very limited amount of money. Right now, there are ways to structure this. There are ways to sign a guy to a multi-year deal and have maybe this year not be a majority portion and have next year maybe increase, right? And that's one thing they could do. They could maybe work that out with a guy that's, looking to come back here, like a Merrill Kelly, or maybe even, a new signee that they add to a shorter term multi-year deal here. There's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be very careful with their spending, considering that nobody knows what's going to happen after, the current CBA ends in December of 2026 and how that's going to impact the season even happening in 2027. I feel like, though, that this, again, would be a short-term deal versus, like I said yesterday, the Bellinger deal being a much more long-term deal. But I think that Goldie would not only be an inexpensive option that probably wouldn't be your regular first baseman, but could definitely help out over there at first base, could play time, especially early in the season. And of course, could be a good DH for this team and offer something offensively. But more than that, how satisfying and how uplifting would this be for a fan base that doesn't have very much to look forward to next year? We need this. We need this. I mean, maybe I don't as much, but you all need this. Damon's going to attack me for the things that I've said in the past about Paul Goldschmidt. I'm trying to get ahead of it. But
I mean, it's just because you guys don't hear the things Derek says off air about Paul
don't do that.
Goldschmidt.
Don't do that. Don't act like off screen, off air. I viciously attack this man. Those are lies. Those are bold-faced lies.
I believe the H word was used.
How dare you? I don't even know what H word you're meaning, but my God, I don't even want to begin to speculate on which one. I mean, again, I have said that Paul Goldschmidt wasn't clutch at times for this team, but neither are many baseball players that are considered to be elite all-stars. It's just the way the game goes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like there's a little bit of element to that, Derek. There's also the element of, Paul Goldschmidt in the wild card game in one of his few opportunities in like a playoff environment against the Rockies, MVP chance raining down in Chase Field, and he hits a bomb. First inning, sets the tone. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't have a ton of opportunities necessarily to really make his mark as one of the premier hitters in baseball at a postseason level. I'm not saying that he really has that in his bag anymore, but sure. It's hard for me as a Diamondbacks fan with the lack of even trying to win at times during the Paul Goldschmidt era, where to blame him for not having postseason success, because Dave Stewart, Tony La Russa, like those guys weren't even really trying. Mike Hazen and Torey Lobolo had to rebuild.
That was a bad era.
Yeah, the whole thing is kind of a mess.
Well, here's the thing though, is the biggest question, and again, I like the idea of the Goldie retirement tour here, but does he have anything left in the tank? Mm-hmm. Can he actually perform? Can he actually bring anything to this team? His 2025 stats are not terrible. He had a 1.2 WAR in 2025. He averaged 274. He slashed 274, 328, 403 with a 731 OPS. He had 10 home runs and 45 RBI. As far as his OPS is concerned, when you look at the other available options for the Diamondbacks this season, Tim Tawa posted a 620 OPS. Pavin Smith had a 797 OPS. That doesn't work well with Damon's agenda.
We've talked about it with Pavin. It's the Fugazi OPS. I mean, he had a 1300 OPS in May. Yeah, that'll do it. He had a sub 700 OPS the entire rest of the season if you take out 1 month.
That's fair. And then Tyler Locklear struggled last year. He posted a 529 OPS. So as far as other first base options are concerned, Goldie would be an upgrade. And again, that was playing 145 games for the Yankees last year. So it's not like he just did this in a limited sample size or did it playing limited. He didn't play very much first base because of Ben Rice taking over that role over there from New York. But he has played the majority of his team's games in his career. So when you talk about age, durability absolutely is a factor here. But outside of the COVID-shortened season where he did play the majority of that season as well, he hasn't played less than 109 games at any point in his career outside of his rookie season, right? So he is an absolute stud when it comes to longevity and being available for his teams. He always was for us. On top of that, you could factor in what he did for Ben Rice, right? Potentially Goldschmidt could be a mentor, much like I've talked about, James McCann being that for Gabby Moreno. For Tyler Locklear, who, again, could end up working out for the Diamondbacks. I know we're disappointed in what we've seen out of him already, but once again, that's a tall task that was asked of him. He was brought over here and essentially thrust into the starting first baseman role when really he had played a very limited time at a major league level. And now
I'll play devil's advocate a little bit on that, though, Derek. I think that the idea of Tyler Locklear, because he had struggled, right, in his limited major league opportunities before the Diamondbacks got him.
Yeah, but I mean, it was really limited. And then he honestly had an incredible July at a AAA level. Like, he was one of the best players in baseball in AAA during July. So,
yeah, but it's. I think that people were using that excuse of he's had such a limited amount of opportunity that you can't knock him for how low his stats all look. And then when he's given that opportunity, turn around and say, well, he was put in an unfair position being given so many at-bats and so much playing time.
Oh, no, I don't feel that. I just think that it was like, again, people expect a minor leaguer to come up, take a week to adjust, and then be hitting close to what they were doing at a AAA level, right? And that's just not the case. Obviously, we've seen guys struggle.
I mean, he just looked lost, though. That was the problem. He's check swinging. He's striking out all the time. He's he's not making super hard contact. It was looking better towards the end before he got hurt. But
you could say the same thing about Jordan Lawler. And Jordan Lawler, you still don't feel comfortable with offensively over there, nor do you feel great about his defense at third base. You still feel like there's a lot to work on. But that's what bringing them up and giving them this opportunity right now does for them, right? They'll continue to be evaluated, and if they cost this team games, obviously they're not going to continue to be the starting players over there, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to see Jordan Lawler and Tyler Locklear both start at the corners and get ample amount of time, even if they struggle, to figure things out for this team next year. It's part of the concern. You have too many guys potentially that you're letting figure things out, including, Blaze Alexander, quite frankly, who was very good when he came up offensively, but then really cooled off and still, again, has some things to figure out himself. So, I mean, you're going to have a lot of young guys getting opportunities on next year's team.
Alec Thomas, that's still a guy that is trying to prove himself. Right. I feel like, yeah, you're right. The Diamondbacks are in a position where they're giving a lot of at-bats to guys that still need to prove themselves, and they need those guys to show up next season because they don't have the resources, as Stu puts in the chat, to fill every single hole down the roster, especially when you look at a pitching standpoint, like how kind of bad it looks on paper. Yeah. You need to focus so much on that side. So, yeah, I think that a lot of these position players are going to have to step up. I do like Paul Goldschmidt signing from the standpoint of maybe Tyler Locklear and Pavin Smith do need a guy like that to kind of put their arm over them and help them become more solidified Major League Baseball players. I also don't know that I feel confident with those guys being my first baseman, but it looks like that's kind of going to be the case no matter what. So
we don't feel confident based on past performance, right? But that doesn't mean that those guys don't become capable. And we're starting to see that, right? We're starting to see Dominic Canzone and some of these other players that the Diamondbacks have parted ways with.
Well, that's classic.
Yeah, right. No, well, but
that's what we do.
But that's what we do, right? And then that's the problem is that we are far too impatient. We don't really rebuild around here. And that maybe is part of the problem because the rebuilding years can be where you figure out if guys are legitimate or not. And you're not spending nearly as much money so that when the time is right for you to build around those young guys, you have the financial capability to do so. The Diamondbacks did that. They did that. It just came suddenly. And that's why after the 2023 season, you cannot fault Ken Kendrick. You cannot fault the front office for not going out there and spending enough.
Yeah. Or last year.
It might have been spent the wrong way. You could argue maybe that, but still you can't predict who is and isn't going to get injured. And even if you were like, oh, you should have gone after this guy, you don't know if that guy would have gotten injured here or not in the exact same scenario as a Corbin Burns or any of our relievers that got injured. But
yeah,
Paul Goldschmidt, again, that's the reason why the durability I feel like matters and the knowledge and the experience matters. You could say what you want about James McCann, as many people have voiced that they do not want to see McCann even back here. As one of our viewers said, because of the fact that they feel like McCann will interfere.
That's what I missed.
And Gabby Moreno's, yeah.
Derek, that's what I missed. I missed someone saying, "Leave sexy arms Jimmy McCann at home."
Yeah, it's insane, right? But the reason why is because again, people want Gabby to get the reps behind the plate, and
Gabby's not going to get all the reps no matter what, guys. There's never been a time where Gabby Moreno is playing 100% of the games at catcher. And Gabby has had consistent problems staying healthy through the last 2 seasons now.
Very much
or 3 seasons now.
But still, I still say you're looking too much into that, considering that some of them have just been him getting hit by baseballs. But
I've told you before, Derek. It's everything. It's illnesses. It's going to the dentist office. The guy is not entirely reliable to be on the field night in and night out. And nor should he be as a catcher in modern baseball.
This is why you don't tell your coworkers too much at work. Because if I was like, oh, I missed that team meeting because of a dental appointment, Damon would never ever forget it and ever let me live it down ever one time. That's the way that this giving too much personal information out.
That's not true. I covered for Shane doing I had a dentist appointment like 2 weeks ago doing a show.
Well, you have to. You have no choice. And just like I have no choice to cover for Espo on Southwest Bias. He literally locked me in the office and was going to beat me up if I didn't say yes. So
my argument would be, what's the plan then if you don't want to bring back McCann? You want Herrera back? You want Herrera taking a third of the ABs?
The idea
catcher?
of the person the other day was that he would like to see Adrian Del Castillo get time behind the plate.
We all would, but as Stu puts in the chat, he clearly isn't ready to be an MLB level catcher, or else this team would give him those opportunities behind the plate. He probably would have been on the opening day roster if he knew how to catch at a major league level, because he is a good enough hitter.
I think people think they only see what they're doing on the field, like as if they're not having them do stuff in the backfields or before games and going out and watching them and being like, he ain't ready. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what it comes down to. And
the dude is clearly a good enough hitter to be a major league level catcher, right? Like he'd be probably one of the better hitters at the catcher position right now. But it's such an important defensive position. You need to be good at it.
Well, and you need to be a leader there. There's all sorts of things. I mean, the reason why James McCann is the better option there than anybody else as far as a backup is because of his experience and his ability to call baseball games. It's been the one thing we've talked about that's the difference between him and Gabby Moreno. We compared their numbers on Wednesday. They were very similar, right? But what isn't there, what you can't even equate, what you can't put on a graphic is experience. And that's something that he has that he can share with not just Gabby, but the rest of his teammates, including an Adrian Del Castillo, right? But I still don't hate the idea of trying Del Castillo out at a different position if for the foreseeable future you don't see him being an option as a catcher back there. And maybe that could be the solution at first base in the future for this team. Who knows? But Paul Goldschmidt still feels like he could bring that same level of experience that McCann does to the catching position to a one or more young first baseman over there. And again, his numbers aren't terrible. I mean, his average exit velo was down a little bit at 89.9 miles per hour. I think we have his baseball savant numbers here, but his barrel percentage sits at 8.4%, which is still decent. But his expected stats there, especially his expected batting average, there's in the 72nd percentile. And it just kind of shows, especially his ex-WOBA being 354 and his WOBA being 334 suggests that, again, might have just been a little bit of bad luck, but Goldie is still hitting the hell out of the ball. He's still finding the sweet spot. His bat speed is down a tick because age gets us all, but he's still squaring the ball up.
Yeah, he's a solid hitter.
His whiff rate and strikeout rate is low, but he does make contact a lot, and he doesn't walk a lot still, and that's something. And obviously there you see his fielding and his base running statistics are very, very low. And those are the reasons why, of course, you know, the question here would be, would you go after Paul Goldschmidt to be a first baseman, or would Goldie essentially be coming back here to be a DH?
Yes.
If he's coming back to be a DH, I mean, hitting 10 home runs in 140 games isn't, I mean, it's not bad.
No,
but it's still not
decent.
I mean, it's still not what you think you want out of either a first baseman or a DH. Let's be honest. I mean, 45 RBI is still good, right? And at age 38, a decline is expected. Okay, so it's not like he isn't going to lose a step, as you can see there, based on those metrics from Baseball Savant. But again,
why am I blanking? Who is the Diamondbacks DH going into the season? Starting lineup
on opening day?
Yeah.
I don't know. Now, let's see. Randall Grichuk was here. Gino, I'm wondering. I don't know. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I'll take a look at it.
Was it Pavin?
It might have been Pavin because he did have that 1,300.
Listen, we could bring in Pavin and Locklear are going to platoon at first base next year. That's fine. This team needs a DH, frankly. And I think that's one of those positions where you can kind of go bargain bin shopping, and if you make the right decision and find the right guy, that you can find someone that's helpful to this team. You think about a guy like Jock Peterson, who the team brought in kind of out of nowhere, right? When he had a down season, brought him in, just fit the vibe of the culture, and was a really good bargain bin signing. I think Paul Goldschmidt could kind of go along the same regard of being like a good left-handed hitting DH option for this team, and probably wouldn't break the bank in the process of doing so, but also provide some leadership. So I'm all for it from a DH standpoint. I think it fits the team, and this team needs to find guys more on the margins to help with some positions, because as Stu said, you know, you don't have the resources to fill every need. So I definitely am of the opinion that, bring in a guy like Paul Goldschmidt for the DH spot, a guy who can kind of elevate this team and clearly is an improvement, but isn't necessarily going to take all the payroll in the process.
He's unlikely to even handle 140 games next year, right? So this is a good situation for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, again, there might not be a lot of options for Goldie, right? This might be one of those situations where maybe, putting up the numbers that he does and having a baseball savant page like that, it's crazy that even at the age 38 that he'll be next season, that somehow he's aged out and doesn't have enough to offer. There are younger guys that are putting up far worse numbers than this that are demanding more money than Goldie is going to cost, and I think that's the biggest thing. But I don't know. Again, the Cardinals don't have that nostalgia really for Goldie. He came there, he had his time there, he tipped his cap, he played well while he was there, and they appreciated him, right? But I do feel like there is no fan base, there's no team, there is no franchise that is going to appreciate him in 2026 the way the Diamondbacks are going to appreciate him, the way the Diamondbacks fans are going to appreciate him. And I think that should be a huge driving factor here for the franchise to go after him and for him to want to return to this team. Because, again, it's about adoration. It's about respect for him as a legend of this franchise. And it's a chance for him to come back here and help this next generation of this team win, especially during a time where things look very bleak and they need something like this, a beacon of hope, some form of happiness that even if things are bad for us, we'll still be like, damn, well, at least Goldie's back. That's cool, right? And that might be loser talk, but I do feel like as a sports franchise, you have to consider these things, because sometimes if the chips are down and your team is losing, you have to figure out some way besides discounted food deals and free T-shirts to bring people out to the ballpark. And I think that having someone like Goldie back here, especially on a little bit of a discounted rate compared to the other options that will be available out there at DH and first base, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does, and I hear you. I think you're kind of like teetering the line of going back to the loser talk that we keep talking about of like, if 2026 is going to be chopped up to a losing season no matter what, and we might as well not even play it, then bring Paul Goldschmidt in to sell jerseys. But I do agree with you in the fact of like, that could help this team. Bringing Paul Goldschmidt back to sell a bunch of Serpientes jerseys, I'm actually not even joking. Like, that could be potentially, that could pay for Paul Goldschmidt's contract. That in and of itself.
I want one right now that you bring that up.
I'm like, I think that there is an element of yes, like galvanize the fan base a little bit, make people fired up to watch Dbacks baseball in 2026 when maybe the writing on the wall isn't this team is a true contender going into the year like it was the last couple seasons. So I want to actually...
Stu says it really well there, by the way. He said it would be nice for him to play and retire here. He is my favorite player, but I'd rather the team win. If he can help with that, then do it. And I really think he can.
Yeah, as
I don't think this would just
DH.
be a Paul Goldschmidt tipping the cap situation. I really do feel like this would be for the good of the team. And again, Goldie is that kind of guy that probably isn't going to be a super vocal leader, but I absolutely think he would help to make guys like Tyler Locklear and maybe even Tim Tawa better first baseman over there for this team in 2026.
Well, and you have the element of Tyler Locklear missing the first month of the season at least.
That's that's a big help.
He also fits the Pavin left-handed, right-handed kind of dynamic of a platoon there where he could cover for Locklear in the time being. It also brings up the question, do you really want to have all three of those guys on your MLB roster because they all play first base? I think that's a different discussion. But Derek, I think that on Monday's show, we should come here and put together we should draft our top 5 positions that we want to see the Diamondbacks go after this offseason in order. Me versus, we don't have to it's not like I take relief pitcher and you can't then take relief pitcher.
No.
But I think it would be fun little exercise of where we think our top 5 needs lie. Who maybe we could even bring a few players to the table that are options for those roles, just as part of the fun part of the show, but then put it out on.
Replace me as host here. I don't like this.
Put it out on social afterwards, and let the people attack our horrible, awful opinions of what this team needs to do this offseason.
I love it. And Killer Rex is on board with Corbo and Goldschmidt as teammates.
If Killer Rex is on board, I mean, it must really be positive.
We've done something right. But we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to talk about my day out in the rain out there at an Arizona Fall League game and watching things completely fall apart for yet another Arizona-related team in the 9th inning. So don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. We love our friends at Pure Edibles. They were founded right here in Arizona, and they are available at dispensaries all across the state. They have a wide variety of candies that you can get, not just gummies. They have hard candies, chews. They have a wide variety. They also have a wide variety of flavors and strains that you can check out. Effects. Those effects are clearly listed on each tin, but if you want the best effect, in my opinion, you got to check out their new collaboration with Mother Road Brewery from Flagstaff, Arizona, one of my favorite breweries that makes one of my favorite beers, the iconic Tower Station IPA. And if you don't want happy hour to end, you can check out the Noble Road collaboration of the new Tower Station IPA all-in-one, where it's happy hour all the time. This new offering captures the crisp citrus and piney hops of Arizona's favorite IPA, but in a THC all-in-one device. No pouring, no wasting, just good tasting high whenever you want it. Go find yourself some Pure Edible products, including their all-in-one Tower Station IPA from one of over 130 dispensaries across Arizona. And I've already told you this, but of course, Circle K pairs very well with a trip over to get yourself some Pure Edibles. Stop by America's Thirst Stop and get yourself something to drink. It's cold outside, so you might want to check out their coffee that they got right now. For $1.50, they have a large coffee featuring their maple pumpkin coffee. It is pumpkin season. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Pumpkin season is here. Run for your lives. And you can save on everything over there at Circle K by joining the Inner Circle. It's their free membership program. It's easy to download and get enrolled. All you got to do is use your phone number after that to score Circle K deals like 79-cent Polar Pops, 99-cent Frosters, and 3 28-ounce Gatorades for $5. You can also get yourself a deal on gas. If you visit once per week and either spend $5 or make a 5-gallon gas purchase, you will save 10 cents per gallon on your next fill up, and that reward is available once per week. So check out and join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Well, yesterday was a fun day for me because I got to see live Arizona Fall League baseball outdoors here in Arizona. The weather was beautiful until it wasn't.
Derek, can I just say, I don't want to cut you off, but like every year when you and Jesse start doing this spiel about Arizona Fall League and going to the games, I'm having so much fun.
So great.
And meanwhile, last year I'm doing Cardinals content. This year I'm doing Wildcats content. I have no time to get out to this ballpark. I love baseball. I want to be out there more than anybody.
It's like heaven, David, especially when
they
it was
lock me in. They lock me in this studio. Yeah. They don't let me leave, Derek.
No, I know. They got a cot. It was weird. I didn't know who the cot was for, but then when I saw the cot, I knew who it was for. I was like, this is absolutely for Damon. Everybody knows Ayrton sleeps under the desk like a dog. And that madman, Noah, he doesn't sleep at all. That's why he's so insane.
I'm doing the Eric Andre, let me out.
Yeah, no, we don't let you out of here. But I got to go, and it was fun. And me and Jack Summers just sat in the rain like this, letting it rain down upon us. And we watched our Salt River Rafters ride the raft. They lost at a 10-9 classic Diamondbacks loss. It was amazing. You know why it was amazing? Because the game was going their way and they lost it late. David Hagaman, Diamondbacks prospect, who they got in that trade for Merrill Kelly, was outstanding yesterday. He was as advertised. 3 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 1 hit, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Outstanding. I mean, he was incredible to watch out there. He looked... and no, this is no offense to the rest of the players in the Arizona Fall League, but he looked like a major leaguer who was like rehabbing in the Arizona Fall League rather than a prospect that was coming here that was going to be a part of this Diamondbacks organization. Very exciting, and once again makes me feel like the Merrill Kelly trade for the Diamondbacks is by far the biggest win that they had at the trade deadline. It's no disrespect to Merrill Kelly because he is our hometown guy. He is the guy that I think all of us wanted to see stay here for the long term. But the return from the Rangers was pretty incredible, including seeing Hagaman. And, you know, again, Merrill Kelly is a free agent, and he might come back to this team. The Rangers did that for a brief rental of Merrill Kelly's services, only for him to leave that team without them making it to the postseason. But Dbacks prospect, Kenny Castillo, catching prospect, was his catcher yesterday. Two guys that know each other extremely well. And Castillo, who he himself had an amazing day, had some glowing things to say about his pitcher. Here is what Kenny Castillo had to say about David Hagaman.
It's really impressive. So I love that guy. That guy throws really good. So his throw is strong. He keep his focus all the time when he comes to the mound. So that's really impressive when he comes to throw.
Were you calling the pitches for him, or he call his own pitches?
No, I got a good connection, so he trusts in me. So yeah, he trusts in me. I call him when I catch him, so he trusts in me all the time. I call him the pitchers, he follow me, and we work really good.
I really like Kenny Castillo. He's not one of the Diamondbacks' top 30 prospects, but again, some of those guys that aren't ranked like that, which is, again, just a human being ranking them anyway, can sometimes be those guys that come out of nowhere and surprise you.
Where was Perdomo ranked, you know?
Oh, that's a great question. We should go back and look at that.
He might have been in there because he was so young when he got called up that he was a pretty good player, and I think that people really disrespected a 20-year-old who wasn't hitting very well. I just feel like I would remember that
because I've done this for a long time. 2026 Damon is going to be my 14th season covering the Arizona Diamondbacks. And it once again just confirms how old I am. But I think I would remember Perdomo being ranked higher than he is, but let me know on that. Kenny Castillo, meanwhile, 3 for 5 yesterday. He had a home run, 3 RBI, and a run scored. Had himself a great day. Another Diamondbacks prospect that had himself an outstanding day, and that is on the Dbacks top.
Perdomo was really good. I was dead. He was a top 100 guy.
Was he?
I think so. Yeah, based off of AI, I guess. But
what was he in the Diamondbacks organization? Though? That's what
AI is always wrong. So they might have been just blowing smoke. For a second.
But I will say, Yansel Luis, he is the Diamondbacks number 12th ranked prospect currently, and he had himself an amazing day. We have video of one of his hits here, but he was 4 for 6 yesterday, a double. He had 2 RBI and 2 runs scored in that game. And again, going into the 9th inning, the Rafters were up 9-6. And because of the way that things work in Arizona Fall League Baseball, it's a little different. We don't go down to the clubhouse to interview them. We just head down to the field as media to interview the guys on field shortly after the game ends. And we were looking forward to talking to David Hagaman. But what ended up happening instead was there in the rain, we watched the opposition, the Solar Sox, score 5 unanswered runs in the top of the 9th to not only make us stand out in the rain for what felt like 2 hours, but to also give themselves a 10-9 lead over over our beloved Rafters and to eventually take the game. Not only did it cause to be problematic, well, not only was it problematic for us going down there because of how long the top of the 9th lasted, but we went down there so early because we weren't expecting there to be a bottom of the 9th, which also had to occur now that they went up. And we were standing out in the rain for a long time, but we still enjoyed it very much. And you got to get out to see an Arizona Fall League game because, once again, it's $14, and you just won't have a better experience, I think, watching baseball than this. I mean, don't get me wrong, spring training games are great, but the word is out about those. People travel here for those. Those games are packed, and they cost way too much money for a lot of people, I think, to still enjoy in the same way that we enjoy games like this. And let me tell you, the seating thing it's your seat number. It's optional. Just go find a seat. Get as close as possible. It's one of the best things about Arizona Fall League. But make sure to come out this fall. We will be out there covering a lot, and I have a stupid costume in this closet that I plan on wearing. Speaking of our prospects and young players, the Reno Aces named first baseman Tristan English their player of the year, which is once again just amazing considering what Tristan English has gone through this season.
You're the biggest Tristan English fan, I think, in America.
I am.
Like, bigger than his own family.
The man got a cup of coffee in Major League Baseball, and they act like the fact he hit 091 means that he's a complete loser, right? No. In Reno, he slashed 325, 368, 514 for an 882 OPS this season. I mean, again, he was there just kind of bridge the gap there between, the players leaving and Tyler Locklear coming up. So that's the only reason why he debuted and had the short run that he did. But shortly after that, the Diamondbacks designated him for assignment, which was just crazy. because again, he did go through a period of time where he was 2 for 22 on his strikeout to walk ratio. And again, there's some other things there that weren't great, but I mean, overall, man, he was a very good player for this organization. And considering the position that they're in at first base, I just never understood designating him for assignment there late in August. But he did make it through waivers, which might be, I guess, another indication of, his limited value to other teams. I still think, though, that English could prove to be a valuable commodity, maybe even a backup role, considering they have no idea what they're going to do at first base, especially to start the season. So I don't know what they're going to do, but it was wild to me to see Tristan English named the Reno Aces Player of the Year. Congratulations to him. And quite frankly, I'm glad he passed through waivers and is back here with the organization. But Damon, I did want to remind everybody to join the PHNX Cardinals crew for a pregame tailgate this on October 19th. We're taking on the Packers, and we are going to be out at the Chicken and Pickle in Glendale before the Cardinals take on those cheeseheads. So make sure to join us out there. It's a wonderful facility. We're going to have a lot of fun. We have PHNX merch giveaways, yard games, drink specials, and so much more. Plus, hopefully, we'll be watching the Cardinals figure things out. I don't know about that. I'm not so sure about that last part. But go to gophnx.com/events to RSVP for this free event. And again, join us. We're going to have a great time. Always fun to tailgate out there for a football game. Last but not least, before I get out of here, I would like to take the reins of this ship to take the reins of the ship, take the captain's wheel, I guess, of this ship to wish my wife, Mrs. Montia, a very happy 16th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
That is right. Someone has put up with me for 16 years.
That's nuts.
Being married. More than that, we have been together, Damon, for 24 years.
I've been married to Derek for about 3 years.
That's right.
Here at work, and it's brutal. Guys.
Things are going good between us. Your relationship and mine. It's funny you say that because my relationship with my wife and baseball is very polyamorous. So it's no surprise to me. She's put up with a lot in her time with me.
Yeah, it's me and Mrs. Montia. We get to switch off, trade off marrying Derek for baseball season versus baseball off season.
She literally says goodbye to me on like March 31st or April 2nd or whenever opening day is. She's like, well, see ya. Maybe hopefully see you in November, but probably in October. Yeah, all right, I'll see you then. And that's
you're
kind
like,
of
that felt mean.
It felt unnecessary.
I'll see you in late September because we all know that it's not going anywhere.
She's like, we're going to be at that championship NASCAR race together. But I just had to say, man, I love my wife so incredibly much. And she is, honestly, I credit my daughter for this, but she is the reason why I'm sitting here right now doing this job that I still can't believe I get to do every single day. So her support has meant the world to me. And I don't know if a lot of people would put up with their significant other staying here at the studio until 2:00 in the morning with Damon and then heading home and asking where the leftovers are, waking her up just to find that out. But hey, is there any more
as you
Alfredo?
You ruffle her a little bit.
I'm really hungry.
Where did you put the pizza?
But I love you, and I can't wait to spend this weekend once again forcing you to do things related to baseball with me on our anniversary. So we're also going to do scary things. Like I said, we're going to really take my daughter through the ringer because she wanted to do spooky stuff this October, and that's going to happen for her in Bisbee, Arizona.
It is funny when you reach that stage of parenthood, Derek, where your wedding anniversary becomes about doing stuff with your child as well.
It's very much a family thing.
Yeah, you're like, screw it. We're going on vacation, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be very romantic to go spelunking in an old mine, but hey, what can I say? I'm old fashioned, but
it's gonna be a lot of fun. Enjoy Bisbee, brother, and as Ryan says, love #love-wins.
Yeah, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for that, and I appreciate you guys being here. Of course, we will be back on Monday, where Damon and I are going to draft our most important needs for this team, as well as answer your mailbag Monday questions. So make sure to join us for that. In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter. I am at Cap_Caveman with a K. He is at Damon Dog with a DAWG at the end. And we are all Damon's dogs. Bark, bark. Our show is at PHNX_Dbacks, but as always, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you guys an immense amount for your time. Like I said, your time is your most valuable commodity. thank you so much for sharing it with us. Thank you, AZ Cats G, for your super chat. I appreciate that a lot. And again, happy anniversary to Mrs. Montilla. So
AZ Catch G, just a quintessential buzzer beater, Derek. Yeah. I mean, that's what he does.
Right at the buzzer.
It's what he does every episode.
I appreciate you. But hey, thank you guys all for being here. I will see you guys on Monday. Until then, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your significant others. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when you realize how important Paul Goldschmidt coming back to the Valley would be for this fan base.
We all silly like the mayor.